Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another new servant analysis video. I'm Kyokutei. Thanks for being here. We have here a new rider. I know, right? Crazy. A new rider to the game. This is a limited SSR Kyokutei Bakin. So, honestly, this is going to be a little bit more of a harsh review. I will tell you right up front, I don't really see a place for this servant in the game. Just to be really harsh about it, but you know what? We're gonna give it the fair look that it deserves. Go through the entire kit, MP, materials, everything like we always do, and then give our take afterwards. Appreciate you being here, and let's see what's going on. So we have here Kyokutei Bakin. I'm probably saying that wrong. Arts AoE rider. So HP to attack ratio skews heavily in favor of HP. Double arts, double quick deck. Pretty low hit count across the board for Buster Arts Quick. Doesn't really matter though, it's an Arts AoE. 6 hits on the extra. Star gen is not great. The star weight for a rider is low. 197 is on the low side for a rider. You'll see as high as 209 on riders, typically around 200. So it's high for the game, but it's low for riders. We'll talk about a lot of things going through here, but we're going to start with the skills. The first skill is a 20 to 30% battery on a 6-turn cooldown. That's its primary function here. It also serves to charge the party by 10%, except for herself, and it gains 5 to 15 critical stars. Remember multicolor buff, and remember 5 to 15 critical stars. You'll see why. So that's the first skill. Once again, 20 to 30% battery, 6-turn cooldown, 10% for party members that are not her, and then 5 to 15 stars. On the second skill, it looks like a lot, right? It's a 10 to 20% buff on quick, arts, buster, crits, as well as NP damage. It also restores HP for one party member, 500 to 1,000. This entire skill is targetable. And then it gives that party member evade for 1 time over 3 turns. And then it's a debuff immunity 1 time over 3 turns. Generally speaking, if we were to talk about general support skills, that's awesome, right? That's a lot there. Again, we'll get to that, but like I said, tuck away the whole tricolor buff, stars, and now crit damage up, right? On the third skill, it's arts up 20 to 30%, 6-turn cooldown. And then when you use arts attacks for 3 turns, it will apply attack up 5% on the party. So 5% attack up for the party for 3 turns. On a standard 3 servant comp on the field, obviously you're gonna get everyone's cards 1 time. There's 2 arts cards here. So you're looking at over 3 turns, if it is a non-resetting card chain, it's going to look at a 10% buff, okay? Now, if you were to time it to where it's like you use it on turn 3, and maybe you get arts cards back on turn 4 and 5 when the hand has reset, okay, all right. Maybe you're looking at potentially 20%, but it looks like unless you have some card lock shenanigans going on, maybe some card shuffle going on, you're going to be pretty much capped at 10 to 20% for the party over those 3 turns. On the NP, this is an Arts AoE rider. It's special attack versus demonic 30% for 1 turn. And then it's super effective damage against evil alignment enemies. And then 8 stars gained, right? So we do know that right off the bat, we see all 4 aspects of multiplicative damage over here. I'm about to absolutely make some of my stream watchers' days. Right here, as you can see, the attack up is on that 3rd skill. The tricolor buff is on the 2nd skill. It's targetable though, it's targetable. And then the arts itself is on the 3rd skill as well. There's no NP damage up without targeting it from the 2nd skill. And then we have the anti-trait and super effective mods, right? So here's the targetable aspect. You bring all that to the table on whomever you want. It could also be her. And then we have the special damage up and the super effective damage, right? So all 4 aspects of multiplicative damage, that's fine, that's cool. It doesn't help that the attack ratio is skewed heavily favor of HP. Attack to HP ratio is skewed heavily in the other way. But that's okay, right? That's great. You can buff this servant up big time. We'll take a look at some of the other details here. On the passives, there's Divinity C. I'm sure that'll matter in the event. Writing skill B. And then the anti-foreigner pen skill was interesting to me. I think we'll have something to see with that. I'm not going to spoil anything about the event. Over on the materials side, it's not bad, honestly. It's not bad at all. So the Ascension mats are going to set you back 9 seeds, 15 Magatamas, 10 pages. Like, this is not bad at all. Over on the skills, 15 pages, 18 seeds, 24 Magatamas, 10 mirrors. That's really, really reasonable. Really reasonable. We're talking about a limited SSR right here. So very, very attractive material-wise. On the append skill down here, it's, again, pretty reasonable. You will need 24 yarn. That's okay. That's not that bad, honestly, especially for append skills. When it comes to the bond CE, we'll take a look at it real quick. It probably plays into exactly what you would think. Special damage against demonic and then evil as well. So demonic and evil are definitely checked off heavily in this servant's kit, as we saw in the NP evil, demonic right there as well. So you're definitely going to be packing a punch against demonic and evil. The problem is a lot of servants can already do that, one or the other, perhaps even both in some cases, right? So, all right, let's shoot straight here. What you have here is a limited SSR, right? So we have to hold them to a little bit of a higher standard, as we do. They are an Arts AoE rider. Arts AoE rider. This is a loaded field. It's a loaded field. So as a Arts AoE rider, she has a 0.41% NP gain per hit on her NP. 4 hits on that NP. You probably know where this is going, but we'll go down the line here. So Mordred, 0.71% NP gain on her hits. The NP has 5 hits. I know looping is not the end-all be-all, but we have to look at the competition here. Leonardo da Vinci rider, 0.49%, and also only 3 hits on the NP. However, we all know how many skills give NP per turn, as well as an immediate battery on Da Vinci's kit right here. Really tough looking field here. And then Odysseus, even he has a higher NP charge per attack. Down on the NP, he has 3 hits as well, so you're probably going to have like a similar output depending on the overcharge or overkill, which admittedly she's going to hit pretty hard if you have all of her niche filled out. But then the worst of it, Habitrot is free, 0.57% on the NP gain. Yes, there is 3 hits only, but I think we all know that Habitrot is a fantastic looper, not only because of her NP gain, but the NP battery here at 50 to 80%. That helps a lot. Not to mention the arts performance up. Again, free unit. So that's kind of tough competition-wise, just right there on the NP, right? So maybe you're saying, all right, but that's okay. She doesn't need to be my arts AoE looper, right? I'm going to use her as someone who's going to buff all 3 card colors and also provide crit damage up and also some stars. So Chiron. Chiron also has a double arts, double quick deck. Chiron also has 1 ally's quick arts and buster performance up for 3 turns. As you'll see here, this is 10 to 20% on her tricolor buff. His is 20 to 30%. The cooldown is the same. His second skill here gives stars 5 to 15, right? So hers on the first skill, 5 to 15. Not to mention the fact that his crit damage buff, 30 to 50% for the party. For the party. Whereas hers on her second skill here is just 10 to 20% for 1 party member. I'm not trying to like be unnecessarily negative here, but this is not looking good. It's not looking good, right? So we do have a 20 to 30% battery, but that really does not matter. It does not matter because of the competition that she has within her NP field, right? Obviously, like the damage modifiers are attractive. If you dig deep into multiplicative damage, you're gonna get a decent output from her. But as far as within her own niche, it's not looking good. So the stars, the tricolor buff, the crit buff, all of it, it's kind of redundant, and others not only do it better, but they do it for cheaper, not only in party cost, but also sheer cost as far as Saint Quartz, right? If you find a Chiron banner, you're probably going to spend less to get him than you will on her banner, right? The debuff immunity is nice 1 time over 3 turns, as well as the evade and the HP restoration of 500 to 1,000. That's not enough for me personally to justify a limited SSR's presence on the field. If I can do all of this better somewhere else, namely Chiron, and if what this is feeding into in the NP is going to be done elsewhere better, as far as farming purposes go, that means we have a very specific niche for this particular servant, right? Even here on this skill right here, I'm only going to get arts cards so many times over 3 turns. The maximum that I could ever possibly get would be 6 under absolutely ideal conditions that I had to prep for, card lock, etc., right? And so if I have that much, it's still a 30% attack up. At the absolute most, a 30% attack up for the party. I can get that elsewhere. So I don't know. 20 to 30% on the arts as well. Like there's just not a lot that she brings to the table. If you like this servant, obviously roll for this servant. If this design is nice, great. I don't, as you guys know, speak about like the aesthetic, the design when I do these videos. I tend to look at this as a, hey, we have here X rarity servant from X pool. What do they bring to the table? Are they going to be worth it for you depending on where they land in the rarity, etc., right? So for me personally, this is a limited SSR rider that just does not do it. She doesn't do it. I would be shocked if she is not either getting a buff in 2 years or completely forgotten about. I really hate to sound overly negative, but this is getting to be a little bit much. I know people like Constantine, thematically speaking. He did not have a limited SSR kit, I should say, in my opinion. I know people really like Taiko Bo, but he was in the right pool, in my opinion, for what he brings to the table, not limited, right? So because of all of that, it's kind of like, what are we doing right now? This is probably going to be a fun event, right? It's probably going to have some cool aspects to it. Obviously, there's like a lot of dog themes going on. That's pretty cool, right? We like that. But as far as spending your Saint Courts, Anniversary is less than 2 months away. Less than 2 months away. Anniversary on the JP server is less than 2 months away at the most, at the absolute most, right? And in realistically speaking, we're looking at a month from the date of this recording. Because of that, I just don't recommend this servant. For what it's worth, I don't recommend this servant. There's nothing she brings to the table that you cannot get elsewhere. There's nothing that she brings to the table that is going to justify like specializing in her niche, whether that's focusing on getting those 2 arts cards every single turn for 3 turns, or if that's trying to check off all 4 aspects of her multiplicative damage. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But for me personally, I would not be spending my Saint Courts to chase down that kind of a niche, right? I don't know. I'm not trying to sound overly negative. This just does not, it doesn't hit the mark for me personally. For me personally, this just does not hit the mark. Reasonable mats, right? Attractive in that regard, but far outpaced in a lot of different ways by other servants that have not only been available for longer, but have been available for cheaper, right? So I don't know. I would love to see feedback in the comments about what you think about this servant. Is there some aspect of the kit that I'm not seeing here? I kind of doubt it, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this servant. Will you be rolling? Will you not be rolling? Is there something about this servant that really speaks to you? Is there not really anything that does, anything for you? It looks like it'll be a cool event. Looks like it'll be kind of fun, and maybe she'll win over the hearts and minds of players in the event. But from where it stands now, from what I can see, there's really no justifiable reason to chase down this servant unless you're of the whale, collector, Leviathan variety, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? That being said, thank you so much to my Discord. My Discord community chats about the servants as they're released. As soon as we see visuals on them, as soon as we get translations, sometimes we're translating it in our Discord as well. Feel free to hop in and join us. We love to chat about new servants the morning they're released. Not only that, but a lot of new buffs, a lot of new updates to the game. You'll find us pretty active in there. So feel free to hop in Discord. Link is in the description below. Thanks for watching this. If you like this and you like my other new servant analysis videos, I promise you I will continue to get better at them every single time. So feel free to hit the like and subscribe. Catch us on Twitter, catch us on Twitch, or again in the Discord. If you are rolling for her, good luck on your rolls for her. If not, well, honestly, have fun in the event. Have fun in the event. Regardless, though, thanks so much and take care of yourselves. Later.